So just in case we have some people that are wanting to come on and ask questions a little bit later, we will be doing a Q&A time for those questions. I'm not seeing anything here. Are we going to be able to see it in just a second? Yeah, just a second. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to give some more time again for those that are wanting to come on. I know that I had some that were asking questions to see if it had been done yet. No, we are starting right now. We are in Central Time, Central Standard. So our 3 o'clock is now and not during East Coast time. All right, so we're going to start out with a quick word of prayer, and then we're going to get started with our demonstration of these wonderful herbs and the things that we have in our kitchen. So we're going to take this time for a quick second to just have a quick prayer. Our gracious Heavenly Father, please be with us as we share this wonderful knowledge of natural remedies. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay. All right. So our first wonderful food of choice is going to be onion. I love onions. Onions are so mild, but yet so strong at the same time. You ever washed your hands and as soon as you were done, cut up an onion, as soon as you were done, even after washing your hands, you have to wash your hands a couple of times just to get that smell of onion off. That is how potent it is. Onion is antimicrobial, antiviral, antiviral, sorry. And antimicrobial means that it does not like funguses, it doesn't like viruses, it does not like bacterias. And so what they used to do back in the old days was cut an onion in half. And when you cut it in half and you put it somewhere, it actually will absorb the bacterias and funguses and viruses that might be coming into your home, right? So this is really good to maybe put by your door or something like that. So I just wanted to show a quick demonstration of what we usually do if an individual has I wanted to demonstration now. If an individual has an infection, now we can use this for multiple different infections. Usually when my boys were younger, when they were babies, still even now, I have a 17-year-old. When he gets sick with something, I will cut either garlic or onion and put it on his feet, okay? And chop it up really fine and put it on his feet. All right, so you got your onion. Okay, you get your onion, you put them in the toaster oven, all right, and you put it in the toaster oven until it turns translucent, okay? It starts to get a little clear. Once you do that and it turns clear, the next thing you need to do, let it cool down a little bit. If there's somebody that has an ear infection, you get that juice of the cool down, not hot, but not cold, just warm onion, and you squeeze some of the juice in the ear. Okay, so I wanted to just share that principle with you. Now, after you're done doing that, you get some ace bandage or gauze and you wrap. So you put it on the ear, okay, put both pieces on the ear, and then you wrap with some ace bandage or something like that and let them sleep overnight. Okay. That ear infection is going to start to like disappear. All right. So I just give you two examples of blessings. I love to share testimonies because wherever we go, we share these principles with us. We've been doing this for a while, a long time. And so we were doing a training in Florida about 7 years ago. And this lady, her blood pressure was through the roof, but on top of that, she was going through a lot of stress, going through some marital issues. A very good friend of ours, and she ended up having to go to the hospital because she had blood coming from her ears. And so, because she didn't know what was going on, I said, sis, what are your other symptoms? And I was like, ooh, that looks like you might have an ear infection. So she went to the doctor. They checked her ears. Lo and behold, yes, she had an ear infection. They gave her these drops. And so we were there doing the training at the time. So I was seeing her every day. We were there for like 3 weeks. I was seeing her every day. And during the session, I got the onion, put it in the toast oven, cooked it down for her, let it get translucent, and then I told her put it on her ears. I put it on it, wrapped it on her ears for her. She she got the medication, and she said, I believe that God can heal. And so she did not use that medication. And so she brought the medication to me, and I said, oh, okay, it looks like this is two things in one. It was an antibiotic and a pain medicine. I don't remember what it was at the time, but those were the two different ingredients, or not the ingredients, but the two things that made up that medication for her to put drops in her ears. So she did not use them. And I said, okay, well, if this is the case, again, it looks like you might have an ear infection. So I told her to do this. And after 3 days, y'all, 3 days of this horrible pain that she was having, like I said, it was so bad that she had bleeding from her ears. She went back to the doctor a couple of days later, and the doctor got his magnifier and checked her ears to see exactly what was going on with her ears. And he says to her, oh, I'm so glad that you used that medication that I told you to use. It worked wonders for your healing. Now, mind you, her husband was in the room, and her husband did not believe in natural, but she believed in natural. And so he is, and he's hearing that she's doing better, that the doctor is saying her ears are doing much better, and that she had been using this medication. And so she said to the doctor, doctor, I have not used the medication you gave me, not even once. I did this instead. And so it was a witness to her husband that was already upset because she was using these things and they were crazy. So she came back to where we were having the training the next day, and she gave this wonderful testimony on onion, y'all. Like onion, everybody got an onion. If you cook, you got an onion in your house. It really, really helps. So I want to go on and go to my next thing here, and that is before I do that, yeah, let me go on and start. So I want to go on and get, while we talking about onions, sometimes we make, or we tell people about a cough immune syrup that we make. Okay, a cough immune syrup that we make. And again, you probably got the ingredients in your home. This is some onion here. So this is the ingredients that we have is a cut up onion. Okay, a cut up onion. All right, here are the ingredients. One whole onion, a smaller onion, but a nice, medium to small onion. And you have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cloves of garlic. All right. I am a dumper, y'all. So I have our recipes for our products. Yes. Once we make all of our different herbs, our tinctures and salves and things like that. But I'm a dump cook. All right. So I've always been that way. I love to look at recipes, but when it comes to this, I'm just telling you, guesstimate 9, 10 cloves of garlic. Okay. And then we have about 4 inches of ginger. Okay. So you got onion, you got garlic, and then you have your ginger. Also, what I have is, where did it go? My rosemary. Have you seen where that rosemary went? Oh, it was hiding. It was hiding, y'all. It was hiding. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. So this is rosemary. Now, we do travel a lot because we're missionaries. So I do try to do some foresting if we can while harvesting. And so I had asked someone to give me some rosemary. And so this is Kenyan rosemary. Kenyan rosemary. So I'm going to go in and put all of my ingredients in our jar to make my cough syrup. Okay. And this is, again, not just for coughing, it's for immunity. If you feel like you're about to get sick with something, you can make this formula. It's really, really simple. Okay. So you're going to use your garlic. I'm not about to use this spoon, y'all. I'm about to use my hand. My hands are clean. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put that whole piece of onion And I need to cut up these other things. I'm making a mess. That's okay. We'll clean it up when we're done. Okay, so you got your onion. You have your garlic cloves. I'm just going to cut these up. Now, garlic is very, very potent stuff. And I know some people don't like to use it. What for? I don't know. It's done only good for me. All I advise is that you don't consume garlic on an empty stomach. All right. But if you've got high blood pressure issues, if you got high cholesterol, if you got diabetes, garlic is a good herb that you can use, and it gives you wonderful, wonderful blessings of different results. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're going to put those there. Okay. So we chopped up our garlic. Now we're going to chop up our ginger. And you notice that I'm not like making these really small. You don't have to do small pieces. This is peeled ginger. Okay. Can we just take the tripod down a little bit? Because I can't see it all. Okay. Okay, so these are our pieces of ginger, about 2 to 4 inches of ginger. Yes, it's going to be strong. We want it to be strong. We want to kill all those bugs. That's why we're using all these wonderful things, because we want to make sure that our families are healthy, right? Okay, so again, we got 1 whole onion. We got about 9 or 10 cloves of garlic. And then we have about 2 to 4 inches of ginger. Okay. So those 3 things in our container so far. Here is our dried rosemary. If you have fresh rosemary, fine. But this is rosemary that I got from Kenya. All right. So we want to use some rosemary. You can put the stems in there if you want. It's up to you. And this is our formula for immune health. You can use this for if you have somebody in the house that's coughing. And you notice that I'm using a large jar. This will last you for quite some time, because it is that you're not using something that is complete in water content. It will preserve. Honey is our last ingredient. That is a natural preservative. All right. And because it is that we're going to smother this with tons of honey, you can keep this for months at a time, and you don't have to worry about any kind of, you know, any spoilage or anything like that. Okay. All right. So we got our rosemary in there. Okay. All right. I don't like wasting ingredients, so I'm just going to add these other little pieces that we have here. Okay. All right. So in our jar, we got onion, we got garlic, we have ginger, we have rosemary. Okay. And our last little secret ingredient before the honey is a little bit of cayenne pepper. Now, this, I know most homes have regular cayenne pepper. You can use cayenne pepper. If you regular seasoning cayenne pepper. Now, you don't have to have medicinal grade, but we have medicinal grade. We do not usually cook and eat with cayenne pepper because it is so strong. We don't really do many spicy foods. We use spices per se, but not spicy foods, but we do use it for medicinal purposes. So cayenne is one of those things that can stop a heart attack, y'all. Yes, I said it. All right. A stroke. All right. And so I just wanted to share with you, this is 90,000 heat units of cayenne pepper. You do not need a lot of this. So if I were going to say, put cayenne pepper, regular home kitchen cayenne pepper that you're using for your seasoning in this, then you're going to do about a half a teaspoon. But for this, you're going to use just a tip. Why? Because this stuff is very potent. It is very strong. Matter of fact, when I was dealing with it earlier, the cayenne itself, I started sneezing. That's how strong it is. Okay, so I'm not going to tempt myself. I guess I shouldn't say that I am, but I love to do special things. So I'm going to use a tip. I'm going to show you what I mean by a tip. Okay, you see that? Y'all see that? I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's all I'm using in this, okay? I'm going to put that in there. Close up that cayenne because we don't want no accidents with the cayenne. Okay, all right. So after we're done doing that, now we are going to get our honey. Try to get raw honey if you can. Raw honey if you can. Okay, and we're going to pour to cover. Okay, pour to cover. All right. Okay, all right. So in our jar, we got onion, one whole onion. I'm going to say it again, one whole onion. We got 9 to 10 cloves of garlic. All right. We have about 2 to 4 inches of ginger. We have about a tablespoon or more of rosemary. Okay. And then we topped it off with a tip of 90,000 heat units of cayenne. If you have just regular cayenne at home, you do about a half a teaspoon of cayenne. Okay. You see how it's dripping down inside, and that's what we want. All right. That's what we want. Now, because it is that I always take it above and beyond, because I love herbs and I love what they do, I'm going to add in, let me close up this honey. And I'm going to use this honey again in just a moment. Okay. I'm going to, you see how it's starting to go on down? Yes, yes, that's what we want. And after about 3 days of this sitting, you guys, it is ready. It is ready. You can shake it up every once in a while. The longer you let it sit, the better. But you can go on and start reaping the blessed benefits of this after about 2 or 3 days. Okay. All right. This is what we want right here, y'all. Okay. All right. So because like I said, I'm extra, I do use essential oils. And this is a mixture of essential oils that are really good for immunity. Herbs like cinnamon, mint, eucalyptus, lemon, okay? All those, whew, this is some good stuff. All of those wonderful essential oils in this. And it's a pure essential oil formula that I like to get. So I'm going to put a couple of drops of this in there. Did I get an empty one? Yes, I have to get some more. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So a couple of drops of that in there, 2 to 3 drops, nothing major. It just makes the properties of it so much better. All right. And so then we're going to put this formula to the side. All right. Okay. Don't forget, you guys. Don't forget to share this video with individuals. Those of you that might enjoy what it is that we're doing. All right, so we're going to switch a little bit and we're going to talk about some potatoes. Potatoes, and you be like, what are you doing with the potatoes? You know, potatoes have drawing properties to them, okay? So this is a wonderful thing that you can do if it is that you have any kind of swelling, or what else can you use potatoes for? You can do it for any kind of swelling, any kind of bruising on your skin. If you don't have anything else and you get, a boil, or you get, a blister or anything like that, potatoes. Okay. I've seen it disappear, bruising. Okay. If you hurt yourself, you fail, whatever, you can use a potato. So how do we use potato? Oh yeah. Potato is also really good if somebody has hemorrhoids. I know I had shared that with somebody on the group, and somebody came after me. It was like, oh, use this instead. Okay, y'all, potatoes. Everybody has a potato and it works. It helps with so much. A potato is all you need. All right. So I'm going to go on and shred this right quick. I don't know if you guys are seeing me or not. Honey. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. So you can wash it if you'd like. You're welcome to. All right. So we're just going to shred our potato. And you shred it for whatever you need it for. If you have a bruise of some sort, I'm not going to use a lot for this one because I just want to do it for demonstration purposes. Okay, so we've got our potato. Okay, so with the potato now, you need to get yourself a paper towel or a napkin. All right. And I don't know, hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Can they see what I'm doing? Mm-hmm. You sure? Because I don't. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So you want to get it and you want to put it inside of your paper towel. Put it in your paper towel. All right. Or another way to do it. And I brought multiple things just in case because everybody has different stuff at home. Right. Okay, you got some sterile pads, some gauze pads, anything like that, that would work. Anything that is breathable, as in the properties of whatever herbs you're using are gonna go through this, okay? So what we're doing is a potato poultice, okay? So you just want to make sure that it has the one layer and not multiple layers so that the properties of whatever herb you're using can go through that and get to your skin, whatever you're needing it for. So here, and then you're going to close it up like this. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. So say for instance, God forbid I messed up something on my arm. Okay. This is the wet side of the potato, and I'm going to get it and I'm going to apply it here. Okay. And that will help to take the bruising away. You got hemorrhoids. I know it's personal stuff, but we all got to do it, right? Okay. So you get it the size that you need it or close to the size that you need it. And after you're done cutting it up, cutting it close to the size you need it, you can shred a little bit more off. Make it smooth if you want. Okay, y'all. Now we have a suppository. We got an herbal potato suppository. What is a suppository? You are absolutely right. This gets inserted in the rectum when you have hemorrhoids, y'all. This will help to shrink those hemorrhoids. You might not have witch hazel. Fine, good if you do. But if you don't, pull out that potato and shrink them hemorrhoids. Now, yes, we're using these things and we do share the concept of what causes hemorrhoids and all of that. But right now, we're just focusing on natural remedies that we can use in our homes to bring about health and healing to our families, right? So here again is your suppository. You can cut the ends off if you want. It's up to you, but this will help with shrinking of hemorrhoids, okay? All right. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about this wonderful thing called cabbage. Cabbage, okay? Now, you don't have to use purple cabbage. You can use green cabbage. You use whatever kind of cabbage it is that you have, okay? And what does cabbage do? Cabbage is really, really, really good for drying up fluids of some sort, edema, any kind of infections that you've got going on underneath the skin. cabbage helps. So I'll just give you another testimony. I actually have lots of testimonies, and I didn't share with the last one. Can we put the lid? Oh, that's fine. You know what? Don't worry. Okay, so now cabbage. Okay. So what you do with your cabbage? Let me clean up my area here. What you do with your cabbage is you're going to get the largest 2 or 3 pieces, depending on where it is that you're trying to put it. So you got fluid on your legs. You hurt your knee or your ankle and they're swelling. You've got arthritis of some sort. Ginger should be your friend if you got arthritis. It will cut that pain really, really quick. Okay, but just in case you didn't have ginger, but you got cabbage, you could use cabbage and it will actually help to pull that down. We were in Trinidad and Tobago some years ago, and we were working with a health guest. The family was there as well. And the daughter, she had fallen at work. She had fallen at work and hurt her knee. And I told her, I was like, sis, you have some cabbage? She said, yeah, I have some cabbage. And so she brought me the cabbage. And when she brought the cabbage, I did what I'm about to do for you now. And the next day, and I'll show you all of what we did, but the next day, she took that cabbage off of her knee because she hurt her knee when she fell. And that thing had gone down double the size that it was when we started with the cabbage. And that was after one serving spoon. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to get these 2 cabbage pieces. You can use green. It doesn't matter. Whatever kind of cabbage you have will work. You're going to turn it on the hard part, as in, the outside part, and you're going to hit it. Okay. You saw how and what's going to happen is it's going to start to weep. And that's what we want. We want that weeping to occur because all those properties in that cabbage will allow for that to bring swelling. I've heard of people doing all kind of stuff. Yes, it'll reduce the swelling. Okay. I've heard of people doing all kind of stuff like, heating up the cabbage and all that. If you're going to heat it up, it needs to be on low for a quick period of time because all of your minerals and the nutrients in that cabbage, once you cook it down, you're not going to get those properties when it comes to you trying to reduce that swelling and help with the swelling and the edema. Okay. So after you're done doing this, again, I'm gonna go back to my arm here, my wrist. And this helps even for carpal tunnel, you guys. If somebody has any kind of swelling, you put it there. You get a piece of paper towel, you wrap it. You can get some ace bandage or gauze, whatever you have, and wrap it and leave it there overnight. Leave it there overnight. You will thank me in the morning. I promise you will. If you have not done this, I remember when I was younger and, I used to always say when I was a little girl, if I get a scrape or a bruise or cut on my skin and it heals, why can't the rest of my body heal? And so I remember, when I was pregnant with my oldest child, and I was having mom to daughter conversations about being a new mother. And, we were talking about, women drying up breast milk. And what did she always used to say when I would have those conversations with her and my grandmother? Use cabbage, because cabbage has the ability to remove fluids from the body. Okay. So this is the reason why it has wonderful properties that will take away the fluid retention, the edema, and reduce the swelling in different parts of the body. So that's awesome information about wonderful cabbage. Okay. All right. So we got a couple more things that we want to do for you guys before we close out. So I wanted to talk about for a second someone that is having issues with a wound that can't heal. They might have high blood pressure. They might have, preferably even more so, diabetes. We've used this with individuals that have had bed sores. I got another testimony. I got tons of testimonies, y'all. I love to tell my testimonies. Anyway, so this is good old turmeric. Good old turmeric. Nothing but foreign grown. It is not grown from here. It's grown from in the Middle East, in India as well. Turmeric. Okay. All right. It's very strong. This is not regular grocery store. Maybe you might be able to get it if you got organic. But I like to shop at stores, Middle Eastern stores, Indian stores. They just have a better quality of products. I don't know if you all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so this is good old turmeric. Okay. And then I am going to add, I'm not going to use all of this turmeric. I'm going to add, so let's say, it depends on what you have. So it depends on what size that wound is that you're dealing with. Okay. So I put about 2 tablespoons of turmeric in here. All right. We've made large jars, 32-ounce jars of this stuff at one time. If we're working with someone that has a diabetic wound or a bed sore or something like that. So we got our turmeric, and then we're going to add a little bit of honey. And you want to add enough for you to get a nice paste, a nice thick paste. So you don't have to add a lot. And what I usually do when I'm making it, again, I am a dump cook. I will keep adding as I go, as I need. Okay. Okay, so I'm just mixing this up until this turns into a nice thick paste. Are you all seeing that? All of the ingredients put together. And it only takes a moment for it to start to eventually gel, but that's what we want. This is the end result of what we want. Okay. You see how nice that fits together, and it's really nice and spreadable. Okay. So I use this especially, like I said, any kind of wound that won't heal. Let me give me some water right quick. Okay, any wound that won't heal. Now, you want to make sure that that blood sugar, if it's diabetes, that blood sugar is back under control. But for a person that is bedridden, we use this paste and it helps. And so while I am working on this, I'm going to sort of share a testimony with you of a lady that we worked with that had a nice sized bed sore. When we got to her, it was about that big, and we had to sort of help debride the wound and do all of those different kind of things. And so we ended up, putting some stuff on it. They were, they had put her on hospice. And so the nurse was coming out every couple of days to come and check, and she was amazed how the lady was doing. So she wasn't having any major pain like they expected her to have. And she was actually moving in the right direction. I'll tell you more about that, but I can't say it on this camera. Nevertheless, we worked with her to get, one of the things that I was doing was to get that bed sore back to where it needed to be. So what I did was I got the turmeric, made the paste, and when I made the paste, you get it, and you can use gauze, you can use paper towel, whatever it is that you have. You don't have to have the exact perfect thing. Okay, and that's the wonderful thing about natural remedies. You use what you have. Okay, all right, so I clean the wound, and after I clean the wound, we don't want this to go on the wound directly. So we always use something else. And this is what we call a honey and turmeric or turmeric and honey poultice. Okay. You want to put a nice thick layer. Okay. We also were working with another guy at our health facility a couple of years back, and he had type 2 diabetes. Really, really, really bad. I got pictures of that. Okay. I don't know if I can put it up now. I think my husband is about to put up some gory pictures. So just to let you know ahead of time, if you don't like grossed out pictures, then you might not want to look at this picture. But we use this exact same poultice along with other herbs and other formulas that we make, along with changing his diet. He no longer had diabetes. Okay. He walked away after having diabetes for at least 35 to 40 years. He walked away with perfect blood sugar numbers, all right? And he was supposed to get he was supposed to get some amputations. I'll just say that. And praise God, we were able to allow for that to not happen, all right? So we use this poultice. We would debride that wound every day, and we would put a turmeric and honey poultice on those wounds and cover it. And every day we would come and look at them and see, oh, how is it progressing? How is it looking? So when he came to us, he was in agonizing pain. He was moaning from, I think, from the airport. Was he not? He was moaning all the way. And so we lived in the country. Huh? Yes. We live in the country, so the airport was like 2 hours away from us. And we traveled on the airport. I'm sorry, my husband picked him up from the airport, brought him back to us, and we worked on him. And he came in a wheelchair. He could not walk. That's how bad those wounds were. Those diabetic ulcers were. He had gangrene. Okay, so he was set to, if he was still at home, they had already planned to go on and amputate off his feet, because that's how bad they were. They were moving up his ankles, and they were on his legs. So hopefully, again, like I said, my husband will share pictures of that in just a moment. But nevertheless, okay, he's sharing a picture of it now. Did you find the first picture? Did you put that one up of how it looked prior to?
Yeah.
Okay, I think he's going to show it.
Not in order.
Okay, all right. Okay, anyway, so diabetic wounds, bed sores, wounds that are hard to heal. Honey and turmeric is the go-to, you guys. All right, let's continue. What time are we working with? 3:44. So we got a little bit longer to go. All right, so I wanted to go over another wonderful thing that we use. I wanted to just share with you before I go to that, though. Oatmeal. Oatmeal is really, really, really good if you have skin issues. Okay, so usually we will get oats, blend them down, and make what we call colloidal oats. Okay, finely cut oats, blend it, just put in the blender, and then you can do an oatmeal bath. You can do an oatmeal poultice on those areas like eczema, like psoriasis, things like that. And it will really help to soothe those areas. Yes, there's herbs you can use, but again, we're not talking about major herbs out there today. We're talking about natural remedies, things that you have in your home that will allow for you to get relief from things that ail us. Okay. All right. So that's what we do with our oatmeal, our wonderful oatmeal. Okay. Also, I'm trying to think here. I want to pour this here because I want to make this here. So, okay. Our next remedy that we want to use is bentonite clay and coconut oil. I love coconut oil so much. It is such a blessing to me in so many different ways. Okay. Bentonite clay and oatmeal. Okay. Oh, I wanted to share with you guys. I was talking about the turmeric and the honey. So anyway, so this lady, sorry y'all, I get off topic sometimes because I'm so excited about what I'm sharing, because this is what we do full time and I love it. Anyway, because we love to educate. So the turmeric and the honey. So I was working with the lady, and the nurse that was coming back and forth was so amazed by how that bed sore was healing that she started asking me questions. What are you doing? What are you doing? How did you do that? You know, she said, oh, I'm gonna see if I can ask my superiors if you can come and do a class for us. Imagine that, right? And so I said, sure, I'm always open. That's no problem at all. But she was so amazed at the blessings of what that honey and turmeric was doing, because she was coming, like I said, 2 to 3 times a week. And over that month, I think I was with the lady, uh, it had gone, like I said, from here to about here. I wish I had pictures of it, but just wanted to let you know. Okay, all right. So we're going to go on and start with this last remedy, you all. And this is a remedy of bentonite clay and castor oil. And we all know what castor oil does. We all know what bentonite clay does. I'm sorry, not castor oil. Yes, sorry. We're supposed to be using castor oil, not coconut oil. Sorry, y'all. I said it, but didn't pull it. Okay. All right. So I try to always use either wood or plastic when it comes to bentonite clay, because it will minimize the properties. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to use about a little over a teaspoon, between a teaspoon, tablespoon of bentonite clay. All right, use a little bit more just for you guys to see what we're doing. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to use a little bit of castor oil. I love castor oil too. Castor oil is really, really good if you've got any boils, if you've got any tumors, if you've got any growths. If you've got an organ that's not functioning properly, do a castor oil poultice. It really does help. It pulls on those areas, pulls out the toxins. It has drawing properties to it. Castor oil as well as bentonite clay. So this is a powerhouse. If somebody gets a splinter, if someone gets a cut and there's infection there, this is a really, really good one. Women, if you've got any kind of hormonal issues like fibroids, anything like that, you going to do some castor oil poultices. It will really help to draw and pull and detox. If you've got anything on your breast, any kind of breast cancer. I had one woman we're working with right now, and the tumor actually burst. Imagine that. And it was fluid, a fluid-filled tumor, and it burst, and she's still doing really, really good because she's been using turmeric since her first, I'm sorry, not turmeric, castor oil since her first diagnosis. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Okay. All right. So we're going to add a little bit of castor oil, and we're going to do the same thing that we did with the honey and the turmeric. And you know, y'all, I got tons of testimonies. So I got to share this testimony with you because it really, really helped me out a wonder. So I was in the kitchen, and while I was in the kitchen, I walked past my son, and y'all know how we do it. I had a serving spoon. I had a wooden spoon in my hand, and I was popping him on his, I was just popping him, right? But it wasn't, I was just playing as I was walking through. And while I was doing that, I ended up, he responded. And when he responded, he actually hit my finger, and he had on a glass watch. He had on a glass watch. When he drew back, that the glass part of the watch had broken, and guess what? The glass went into my finger. Yes, it did. I actually still have the wound still to this day, or not the wound, but the scar is still there. So I went for months, at least 6 or 7 months. We were traveling, doing ministry work here and there, and this thing was just not healing. I got a sore on it that just would not heal whatsoever. And I said, okay, well, bye-bye. It's okay. And I said, okay, well, this has got to heal. We went and we did some juicing. We went back down to Florida. We do a lot of ministry in Florida. Um, and we do detox programs. So we were doing a detox program, and my hand, like this finger, was just not functioning properly. I could still feel like some nerve endings that weren't where they were supposed to be. And so I was like, what can I do? And so I had called one of our friends, and I had said, hey, what do you think? And they said, oh, why don't you use some bentonite clay? And I was like, what if I put bentonite clay and charcoal together? I'm sorry, bentonite clay and castor oil together. And y'all, let me tell you what happened. So anyway, I got a paper towel, same thing. You guys have seen what I do. Do the same thing that I did with the turmeric and honey. And I did it with a Band-Aid. I wrapped that Band-Aid around my finger. Got some of my mixture. You see the same mixture I just made. Let me show it to you so you can see the consistency. Okay. All right. I just put a little bit of it on my finger. This same finger here. Oh no, sorry y'all. It's this finger. It's right here. There, I don't feel any nothing, no nerve, nothing. Okay. I don't know if you can zoom into my little scar. Okay. Well, he can't zoom into my scar, but I got a scar on my finger right here. All right. Put that on there. The next morning, I pulled the Band-Aid off. It had opened up by itself. Now, mind you, it had closed and there was a little boil on top of it, but it was closed. It was red all the time and it was irritated all the time, but I didn't think anything of it. And I was like, okay, this something's not right. I thought that I had pulled out everything and it was fine. I cleaned it up afterwards and everything. Well, listen, once I pulled that off of here, once I pulled that Band-Aid off, the wound had opened up. That boil that was there had burst. And I get some tweezers and I start pulling. And I know you like, no, you didn't. Yes, I sure did. I'm that person. Okay. And I heard a voice in my head. I literally heard a voice in my head. I had pulled twice with the tweezers. Nothing came out. And that voice said, pull one more time. Pull one more time. And as I got the tweezers and I put them down to my finger one more time and pulled them out, y'all, I had a piece of glass in my finger still that was that big. I kid you not. I am totally not over exaggerating. That was exactly what took place. And that was with this simple thing right here. Castor oil and bentonite clay. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to close up. We're done. Um, we're done. I pray that you all received a blessing in all of the remedies that we use today. And so I just wanted to take a quick moment of time and thank you so much for coming out to share, to support those that were able to watch online live, as well as those that are going to be coming on within the next couple of days before the video is taken down. I did want to share with you all, we will be today launching our new products. Now, we do have a whole line of herbal products that we make. And you can go on our website, Holy, so that's WHOLLY, inspired naturals.com. We are a Christian, Bible believing based ministry. We thank God so much for all of the knowledge and the wisdom that He shared with us over the years. And we want to share that information with you as well. Okay. So we do make herbal products. I am an herbalist and a nutritionist and a holistic health practitioner. Okay. So I just wanted to take this time to share with you our new products that we just launched, we're going to be launching today. All right. I know time is ticking away, but I just wanted to share these products with you. Our first product is our Super Greens liquid extract. The Super Greens liquid extract is wonderful to get in those greens. And I'm not saying don't eat healthy, because you've got to get your nutrients from your food. But if it is that you're cleansing or you want that extra boost of energy, that extra blessing of getting live greens, it has things in there like kelp, spirulina, moringa, wheatgrass, barley, all of those delicious, healthy greens. You can get it in this formula right here. So that is one of our new formulas that we'll be launching today. Our next item is our multivitamin, okay? Our herbal multivitamin. Why is it herbal? Because we love to use herbs. And did you know that herbs have all of the essential vitamins and minerals that your body needs? And if it doesn't have it, it has precursors in it that when you consume it, your body will make what it needs for the different minerals or vitamins that your body needs. God put herbs here for the healing of man. Okay. So this formula is jam packed with different herbs like stinging nettle, burdock, alfalfa. There's so many different herbs that we put in this formula. Okay. It has in there parsley, red clover. I can't even remember all the herbs because it has so many in it. So this is a very good formula if you're looking for a multivitamin that is herbal based only. This is the formula for you. Okay. And our last formula that we have that we also just made is our blood boost formula. So this is for somebody that has anemia or they might have, low blood or, very, very weak. This is a really good formula that will support your systems to be able to bring about blessings. And so this has herbs in it, like alfalfa, like beetroots. Okay. It has some powerful herbs in there that will be able to assist you and help you on your healing journey. Okay. So the herbs it has in there: licorice, grape juice. Yes. Organic grape juice, couch grass. Okay. Beetroot, burdock, and like I said, stinging nettle and dandelion root. So this is a jam full of different herbs that will help to boost your blood levels to get you back where you need to be. All right, so we are about to close out. We thank you so much once again for joining us today. And we ask that you would be in health. We are always reminded of that wonderful scripture in the Bible, 3 John chapter 2, verse 1, and it says, "Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospers." We appreciate you for taking the time to join us. We will have more educational things for you because we love to share. We love to help. We love to minister. We love to serve. All right. So we pray that you enjoyed our little talk class, whatever you want to call it today. And I look forward to chatting with you guys online once again. All right. Bye bye. See you later. Until next time.